So for this video, we're going to go through questions 1 to 3 of this paper. So let's start now. So for question 1, they're asking you for the calculation for an increase of 7% from 400 for 1 mark. So there are 4 choices, and actually you need to understand one very simple thing first, which is that y percent or any percent like 7% in this question means y out of 100. And that's why we can, that's why I wrote that there. So for this question, it's basically 7% means 7 out of 100. So 7 over 100 should be, as you all know, 7 over 100 is 0.07. But that's not all. If you do only 0.07, then you get this answer, 7% of 400. You're basically decreasing the value down to 7% of that value. This is actually 28. But you actually want an increase from 400, right? So basically, you can see whenever I write 1 point something like this, it means an increase from, just like in the question. Or this, an increase. So I have 1 point something here. And finally, you want a 7%, obviously, from your question here. So that's why your answer should be this one, the third one. And you can see I already explained the other 3. Yeah, don't get 7 and 70 wrong. So now for this question, they're asking you for simplifying this thing. So basically you can see they both have the same base of 3 and 3. You can see it's the same. So basically you just need to add the 2 numbers up there. So 4 and 4 is 8. So 3 to the power of 8. So the answer should be the first one, this one there. So remember, if they have the same base like 3 in this question, and obviously they might have different numbers, like maybe 2 and 4, then you get 6. Just add them together. But remember, they must have the same base. For example, if you have a different base, like for this one, am times b to the power of n does not equal to a times b and then m plus n. You cannot do that, okay? It has to be the same base. Similar from division, you just minus it. You probably know this by now. Okay, now for question 3. This is actually slightly more complicated. Just a bit though. So they want you to circle the area that's the same as 5.5 meters squared, but this time in cm squared. So the first thing you need to do is, you can see that there are different units basically, right? So first of all, start with your linear measurements. That means what you do with your ruler, you just measure the length, right? For the most basic use of a ruler is to measure the length or draw straight lines. But if you're talking about measurements, then obviously you might have a meter ruler, you have those normal centimeter rulers, or even some rulers have smaller units like millimeters. And obviously we have longer distances, right? Maybe we want to calculate the area of a football pitch, then we can use km squared, and so on. So, as we all know, 1 meter equals to 100 centimeters. So write that down first. That's actually a ratio, but never mind. And the second thing is, you need m squared, right? And cm squared. So basically, just square it. Square it like this. So 1 meter squared basically means 1 meter times 1 meter. I can even draw it for you. It's an area, right? So 1 meter squared. Think about it. Is 1 meter times 1 meter, basically here. And that's what I wrote here. And finally, 1 meter equals to 100 cm, just like what we wrote here. So this is 100 cm, this is 100 cm. So we can actually say that 1 meter squared equals to 100 cm times 100 cm, which is 10,000 cm squared. Okay, 10,000? Yeah, 10,000 cm squared. So I wrote this here. And finally, you need 5.5 meters squared, right? So you already found 1 m squared, then just times 5.5. You get 55,000 cm squared. So the answer is the third choice, this one. And that's it.